How's everyone doing? Peyton Snybeck here again for another movie review for you guys tonight. So, earlier this evening, I got home from seeing the brand new remake or reboot of The Toxic Avenger. Now, just keep a little heads up. I may say some spoilers here and there. Just give you guys a little heads up because I actually just saw this a few hours ago, and this is actually my personal opinion of what I thought about it, and mainly kind of like what my thoughts are. So, if you haven't seen, the Toxic Avenger movies, so like the original one that was put out by Troma, I think it was directed by Lloyd Kaufman, if I'm not mistaken. Well, the original one was mainly had to do with like this nerdy kind of like janitor who worked at the who works at the gym, and it was basically a guy who was no one really liked, and they thought he was weird, and they told Jim one day ended up doing a prank on him, and the prank ended up going wrong, and he falls into this toxic waste, and he turns into the Toxic Avenger. This movie, this reboot, that this new one that came out tonight or last night, it's very different, very different. And I don't think this one was actually had anything to do with Troma whatsoever. I think Cineverse, I think, was the main, and Screenbox, I think those were the companies that did this one. I don't think Troma had anything to do with this one whatsoever. But this one was very different, this remake. But this new one is mainly it's Peter Dinklage, I think that's his name. It's kind of funny. I've been seeing a lot of him lately. Because he's in the new Dexter that's out right now. It's mainly him, and he gets diagnosed with kind of like this cancer in his brain, like brain cancer. They don't really say exactly what it is. And it's basically it's him, and he has a son. His wife died years ago, and he's a janitor in this one, but he's like a janitor at this kind of like toxic waste kind of like place, and it's mainly him getting diagnosed. And the one night, because he wants to get like this kind of like surgery for like this for this cancer that he has, and his insurance is not covering it. And the one night he goes to his work, the place where he works at, and he basically steals money from the place, and what there's also a scene like when he runs away, he ends up getting shot by these criminals. Peter Dinklage's character gets shot by these criminals, and they dispose of him, and he supposedly died, but they dispose of him, and they put him into like the river. And so basically, Peter Dinklage's character basically had like a broom, and he like put the toxic waste in, kind of like his way of like of a weapon. And him, along with the soaked mop, they get mixed up together, and he becomes of course, from that he becomes the Toxic Avenger. I gotta say though, there was some pretty interesting gore in here. The gore was kind of interesting, and the plot was kind of cool, but I don't know, this didn't really feel like a Toxic Avenger movie, because like the original movies, the original Troma movies, those were pretty damn gory. Like especially the first one, it had like all kinds of gore in there, which there was gore in this new one as well, but I was kind of like expecting. And not that it really matters, like, yes, because it's a horror movie, but I was kind of like expecting like 10 times more gore. You know what I mean? Like even more gorier, like the goriest you can get. There's some gore scenes in here, but not like. So I still think the original one was way more gorier, though. Like there was a scene they actually referenced. Of course, there was like the scene with the restaurant because like they referenced that, but like they didn't do like well, like what Toxie did in the original movie with like him like putting like ice cream like into the bad guy, like putting hands in the deep fryer. They didn't really do all of that. It was mainly kind of like basically his main weapon was the broom or the mop. Like they had like weird like experiences with the mop and everything. And honestly, there was times during this movie I kind of like felt a little. It felt like it was kind of like boring. It was. I kind of got bored with some of the stuff. Um, I mean, they had like. Of course, they didn't do exactly like what they did with the original movie. Um, because like in the original movie, Toxie was, of course, he became friends. Well, not just friends, but they became dating this blind girl that was in the movie. There was a blind girl in the movie, but like he didn't like date her or anything. I don't know. This movie was kind of like there was still some comedic aspects, like some comedy stuff here and there, but this it was more of like a serious had like a serious kind of like tone. I guess that's what I'm trying to get at because like with the original movies, they were more like they were more strong and like very comedy ish and more like raw out there. I don't know if you've seen the original ones, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Especially the first one. Um, I don't know. I like Peter Dinklage. I think he's a cool actor. He actually did a good job playing, the Toxic Avenger. There's some other cool actors in here as well. Elijah Wood, he has kind of like this vibe because his character, he kind of looked like the Penguin. He kind of like had this look. They made him kind of look like the Penguin, and Kevin Bacon's in the movie as well. So, I mean, it was a cool cast in this movie, but it just, it didn't really kind of feel anything like I don't know. It didn't really feel like a Toxic Avenger movie to me. But I still love the original one. I think the original one's a little bit better. I loved kind of like, and I love the sequels too because there was like three sequels that came out to those movies. I love the sequels. And what was pretty cool about this one was Lloyd Kaufman makes a cameo appearance in this movie as well. Towards kind of like the end, but I don't know. This one didn't really do for me. Um, But let me know what you guys think about this movie. Which one do you think is better? Do you think the original one's better, or do you think the remake's better? I personally think the original one was a lot better. So on a scale 1 to 10, I'll give this one. Let's give this one a 5 out of 10. Um, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.